Again, thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's really, really great to see you all. I want to introduce myself. My name is Veronica Wong. I'm the University Settlements Advocacy Director, and I'm really excited to talk to you all tonight a little bit about some of the advocacy that we've been doing. So as the nation's first settlement house, University Settlement has been advocating for social justice since its founding. As a settlement house, we know that providing quality social services is necessary to bridge a gap created by social and economic inequality, but we need to also do more. So to work towards a more just and equal society, we have to address the root causes of inequality, which is where our advocacy comes in. So many of you may know that we've been a leader since our founding, from our role in enacting New York State child labor laws in the early 1900s to being early leaders for a fight for public and green space in our neighborhoods. University Settlement has a storied history of advocating for what our community needs, and advocating that New York City serves the people who live in the neighborhoods, not just the people who make money off the land. So our more recent advocacy campaigns have included securing the right to counsel for tenants facing eviction and salary parity for early childhood workers. But we're still fighting. We know that every victory that we secure is just a reminder to sort of push us forward to ask for even more of what we deserve. So as our position in the community, we also know that one of the most important responsibilities we have is to invite and amplify the voices of the community. And one of the things that we're doing right now, for those of you who are New Yorkers, you know that we are looking at a pivotal election in our local landscape this year. And so we are gearing up for a lot of really great get out the vote and ranked choice voting education work. So we've been, working with programs to see how we could integrate it into everything from after school programming to sort of even early childhood programming, or doing ranked choice education for the community. So all of these really exciting things are happening with, of course, nonpartisan voter education and COVID safety precautions in place. So what we're going to do tonight, hopefully at the end, is a little activity around ranked choice voting. So we can all feel really confident and comfortable talking about it. Before we do that, though, I want to hand this over to Lucienne to talk a little bit about the amazing work that adult literacy is doing in terms of inviting their students to participate and use their voices in the legislative process.
Great. Thanks so much, Veronica. Hi, everyone. My name is Lucienne Leung. I am University Settlement's Adult Literacy Director. In our program, we serve over 450 students every year. We provide free 10-month-long English language classes as well as counseling. Our students they reside in all 5 boroughs, and they come from countries where there is a lot of anxiety and fear around protesting, about community organizing, anything that can be construed as dissent of the government or having a critical opinion. And a lot of our students, realistically are of mixed status households. A lot of them are non-citizens. And so you might ask, how are they able to participate in advocacy? How can they voice their opinions and their push for certain issues? So it starts from day one. When they first register into our program, we make it really clear to them who funds us. It's the city, state, and federal government. And how is it funded? It's through their tax dollars, it's through all of our tax dollars, and where there is a contribution to public programs that serve adult immigrant students like themselves. And they also serve the counseling to help them remove barriers personally, and also barriers to attending class regularly. And every March and late May, we ask for their participation, because that's really when city and state budgets are up and we don't have baseline funding. So we have to go back to our city and state legislators every year, and we have to ask them, please, give us the same amount of funding. I want to have restored funding. Or we have to ask them to increase their funding, because as you know, the dollar amounts stay the same year after year, and it's not really, a viable option for a lot of us to continue serving the same amount of students with the same dollar amounts. So I'm going to show you a short video, and I'm going to explain to you a brief way that our students, citizens or non-citizens, can also participate in advocacy. So this is a recent video from actually just last month, and we were asking the state to please fund adult literacy funding. So I'm going to share my screen and hopefully this. All right. So for a lot of our students, they might be on social media, but they're not used to tagging the right elected officials or knowing how to use tags in general. So we asked our students to please, give us a little introduction and tell us why our programs are important. So here is one tweet we composed. And then as you can see, we hashtag and tag, we hashtag adult literacy. And you can ask what our ask, you can see what our ask is and how we've also tagged Governor Cuomo, Speaker Hasty, and also locally Jessica Ramos. And I'm going to give you a preview of one of the videos. So make sure I have my audio setting. And I'm going to have to turn it off to check it. All right.
Hi, my name is Fernando Silvestre. I'm from Ecuador. I live in the Bronx, New York, in Parkchester area. I have been living in this country for almost 7 years. And actually, I work as a driver, a school bus driver, and I do accessory. I decided to learn English from one day I was speaking with my daughter. I was telling her I was teacher in my country in elementary school for 17 years, and she told me why I do not that job in this country. But I told her my English is not enough to do that job, but she pushed me to learn English. Even if I know get a job in a school, but I know this program is help me to improve the skill like I speak, like listening, that is important in every day in the life. I know I gonna improve my English. Thank you.
All right. So here's just one example of the hundreds of videos that our students submit where they record themselves. I mean, I think one of the benefits to remote learning and also everyone just being thrown into this digital world is that they've become quite adept at recording themselves, checking their sound. But what we can help with is the storytelling part of it, uploading their videos, making sure that we're tagging their right representatives, to make sure that they are avoiding and voicing their concern, especially in here for a push for continued funding for adult literacy programs. So I'm going to turn it over to Veronica, who's going to demonstrate ranked choice voting, another great way you can get greater choice and for our voters to have a stronger voice in this representative democracy we all live in.
Thank you. And really quickly, so Lucienne mentioned that, adult literacy is not baseline to the New York City Council, in the New York City budget. Just want to sort of point to a win in that the council recently released their budget response to the mayor's budget, and they did say that they wanted to baseline it. So obviously there are going to be some negotiations, but this is something that I know, Lucienne, your team advocates for every single year, and we are sort of seeing that advocacy is working. So moving quickly to ranked choice voting, because I know my time with you is short. Just for some background, in New York City this year, if you're eligible to vote, you will be able to rank up to 5 choices on your ballot this year. In the past, we would have to choose 1, right? And we're really excited to share with you how this is going to work. Basically, what you're going to do is rank your choices in order of preference. So your top choice is ranked number 1, and your second choice is ranked number 2, and so on. And we have a mock election to share with you that we hope you will enjoy. But just as I'm pasting this into the chat, I will say that in our current system, our candidate could win without getting 50% of the vote, right? It's possible for a candidate to win this way. Under ranked choice voting, any winning candidate will have to garner 50% plus 1 of the vote. And how is that going to work? We're going to see with this, hopefully, if this works. So I just dropped a link in the chat. It is for a very, very controversial topic, which is, what is the most iconic New York City food? So I'd like for you all just to rank in choice again of number 1 being what you think is the most iconic, and number 5 being what you think is for you. Ideally, let's try to rank only 5, because in New York City, you're only going to be allowed to rank 5. I'm going to pull up the results. Sorry about this.
Veronica, I have to say these choices are really controversial. I don't think there's going to be a clear winner.
You don't? I don't know. All right, how are we doing? Got 9 votes in. I feel like we have a few more folks in this room, right?
Bagel and Lox is crushing it.
All right, I am going to, got 15 votes in. I'm going to share my screen because I know that we're probably going to run out of time soon. Just so we can see how this works. All right, I think we might. So after, I think about 15 people have voted, we see that Bagel and Lox has won with 53.3% of the vote. But let's look in to see how it actually sort of breaks down. So after, the way that ranked choice voting works is, right, you all ranked 5 candidates here. And after the first round, they're going to tally everyone's first choice votes. And if after that, someone does win more than 50% of the vote, they're the winner. So there's no reason to keep going further with the ranked choice votes. But as you can see here, we have dollar slice pizza, delicious, right? But they didn't quite, dollar slice pizza didn't quite get 50% of the vote. So it got 40% of the vote, which means we're going to have to go to the next round. So when that happens, we can see that the food with the least amount of votes here is cheesecake, or sorry, was the, let's go back. Oops, sorry, what just happened? So I think they just eliminated the ones that didn't get any votes. So we can see when we get to the round where they're counting the votes for cheesecake, what happens is the person who voted for cheesecake first, because cheesecake gets eliminated, their second choice vote gets ranked and it gets added. And we keep going with that. So you can see cheesecake, I'm like pointing to the screen like you guys can see me pointing to the screen, but cheesecake here, the vote gets eliminated, the vote gets recounted, redistributed to Bagel and Lox. And so here, we still don't have someone meeting 50% plus 1 of the vote. So we're gonna keep going. Hot dogs from a cart gets eliminated, and the folks who chose hot dogs as their first choice, they get their second choice counted, and that is what puts Bagel and Lox over the top. I'm leaving out cream cheese, but it's very essential. It's a very important part of the equation. So I know that that was a little bit quick. Actually, with that link that you all have, I think you could take a closer look too when you look at the results. In terms of the time, I think we're close to end of time, but I'm also very happy to answer any questions that you all have about ranked choice voting or anything else. I'm not sure if you can unmute or if you have to chat it to me. But if we don't have any questions and we're all just really hungry now, that's also, I also can understand that.
I have a really quick question if I am unmuted, I think. So
Yeah.
is this the first time that ranked choice voting is going to be used in New York City?
So this year we've had a handful of special elections where ranked choice voting has been used. So this upcoming primary is the first one for like a broad, right, sort of a cross city election. It's only used in the primaries. It's not going to be used in the general. And so it's really, really imperative for us to go out and to tell our neighbors, to tell our friends what it's all about, right? And so we wanted to sort of end with this activity because we wanted to give you all an action item, which is, an advocacy action item is to talk to your friends about ranked choice voting, right? Help them make a plan for voting. Even if you're not in New York City or you can't, you're not eligible to vote in New York City, you can still help educate folks about it, because we really, really want people to participate, and we want them to be prepared in terms of what it's going to be like in the ballot box this time.
Can I just ask, so is it important to do all 5 votes, or like, what if you only want to do 2 or 3? Totally
fine. You can vote for only 1 or 2. It's just that if your first 2 then get eliminated, then your ballot is no longer active, right? So, it's useful if you have 5 candidates who you like to rank them so that your ballot has the maximum opportunity to stay active. Breakout rooms are going to close in 38 seconds. It was really great to spend this time with you all. I hope this was helpful. If you have any other ranked choice voting questions, the Board of Elections has information on their website. New York, I think, Campaign Finance Board. There's a lot of great resources out there. Rank the Vote NYC. Thanks for joining us.